Hi again, everyone. It's writing time. I hope you have been working on your special moment story, your small moment story. Hopefully, you have moved into the middle of it and you're getting ready to work on the ending, or you finished the ending. And just because you finished doesn't mean your work is finished. Okay, reaching the end of the story doesn't mean that you finished. And we're going to be talking about that today and tomorrow especially. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so hopefully by now you have watched the videos of me reading The Leaving Morning and Owl Moon. Okay, these are two very well-known books, and there are lots of reasons why they're so popular. Okay, and one of the things that I like about them is that they have really good beginnings and really good endings. Let me show you what I mean. So on the left side, we have the opening of Owl Moon. It was late one night, long past my bedtime, when Pa and I went owling. There was no wind. The trees stood still as giant statues, and the moon was so bright the sky seemed to shine. Somewhere behind us, a train whistle blew, long and low, like a sad song. Okay, so in that opening, we can feel what the sounds were like. It was pretty quiet, except for that train whistle. Okay, and we are told about some of the sights. Okay, the moon was shining, it was bright, the trees were still, which means there was no wind. Okay, so the beginning is so important because it creates a feeling for us. We can even feel like we're there. The ending is just as important as the beginning. Look at the ending. When you go owling, you don't need words or warm or anything but hope. That's what Pa says. The kind of hope that flies on silent wings under a shining moon. So look what the writer did here. Jane Yolen has written a lot of famous books. She talks in the beginning about the night she went owling, and then at the end she mentions owling again. In the beginning she mentions that the moon was bright, and at the end she mentions that it's a shining owl moon. Okay, so the end of the story kind of repeats, it kind of echoes the beginning of the story. Okay, so that's one idea that you can use. Something at the end of your story that'll remind me of the beginning. Okay, let's look at what happened in the leaving morning. So let's look at the leaving morning. The left side has the beginning. The leaving morning happened on a soupy, misty morning when you could hear the street sweeper. We pressed our faces against the hall window and left cold lips on the pane. Now look on the right side. This is the ending. So I left lips on the front window of our apartment and said goodbye to our old place on the leaving morning. So look at what this writer, Angela Johnson, does. She begins by talking about the leaving morning. Okay, it happened on a misty morning. And she ends by talking about it. She begins by telling us that the children pressed their faces on the window, on the glass, and they left lip marks on the pane. And then at the end, so I left lips on the front window of our apartment. So once again, the end of this story kind of echoes the beginning of it. Endings are just as important as the beginnings. That's really important. Your story can't just be about your special moment. It can't just be about the opening. It's got to end well. Okay? Let's look at a little bit more information about endings. So endings and beginnings are important. Try to make your beginning and ending create a circle. Kind of come back to the beginning. A good ending can echo the beginning, like these two books did. Leave the reader with something to think about. A lot of good books do that. Bring the story full circle. Come right back to where you were in the beginning. So echoing the beginning just means repeating some of the things you started with. Bringing the story full circle means going back to where we started. It starts at home, it ends at home, or something like that. Good endings can also solve a problem. Like in the last video, we talked about somebody who injured their finger on a playground. How was that problem solved? The ending would tell us. Bring out the meaning of the story. This is very difficult to do. We need to do a lot of writing practice to bring out the meaning. Okay? So, but endings are very important. Imagine you go on a vacation. And imagine that vacation is a story. It wouldn't be very good if only the beginning was good, right? You would want it to be good from the beginning all the way to the end. Okay, so that's what I want you to do with your stories. Now, in the next video, we're going to talk about going back and fixing the stories. Okay, does the beginning look good? Does the end have a connection to the beginning? Okay, all right, so for now, keep writing and hopefully you're working on your endings. Okay, keep writing, everyone. The end.